Well, it looks like the talks are happening after all. A ceasefire in Lebanon appears to have revived negotiations. US envoy Steve Witkoff flew out to join President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner in Switzerland on Friday, where they'll meet with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghtchi. The US and Iran signed a memorandum earlier this week to stop the war, with implementation yet to be ironed out. We can speak now to Reza Sayah, our Tehran correspondent. Reza, Iran's approach to these Switzerland talks then, which seem to be actually happening, what's that approach going to be?
The approach is mistrust. It's an approach that's being done with a lot of caution and an understanding that these diplomatic efforts, as we've seen in the past, can fall apart in seconds. Obviously, over the past 48 hours, we saw a lot of developments, a lot of indications, a lot of statements that place these talks, these diplomatic efforts, this memorandum of understanding signed between Tehran and Washington in jeopardy. And that is because Israel continued to bomb Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Washington was seemingly unable or unwilling to stop these Israel continued to send mixed messages saying it's going to have a ceasefire, and sending out other messages saying it has a right to defend itself, even when it's on Lebanese soil. You had Ben Gvir, the Minister of National Security, releasing a statement on social media saying Lebanon must burn. Obviously, this puts things in a very difficult situation for Tehran and Washington. There was supposed to be a signing ceremony in Switzerland on Friday. That was scrapped. That put in jeopardy negotiations that were supposed to take place between Tehran and Washington. And now it seems developments indicate that Israel has said they're going to abide by the ceasefire. Again, it looks like those talks that were scheduled to take place yesterday in Switzerland are going to move forward between Tehran and Washington. We'll see what happens.
And what then is the risk if we see more of an escalation in Lebanon? Because there were some doubts in the first hour of the ceasefire where there continued to be strikes. It appears like there haven't been strikes since then. But what action might Iran take if that situation deteriorates again?
The risk is that this diplomatic process is going to fall apart. There's going to be more escalation and obviously an all-out war. That's going to be the risk. And we should point out that when this memorandum of understanding was signed by Tehran and Washington on Wednesday, when Masoud Pezeshkian, the Iranian president, signed it on Wednesday, we didn't see an excitement-filled celebration here in Tehran. There was no revelry, there was no jumping up and down. And I think that spoke to the mistrust that Tehran still has of Washington. It spoke to the understanding and belief that Tehran has that it is quite possible that Washington will not be able to restrain Israel's bombings in southern Lebanon. And Israel, according to Tehran's view, could undermine and sabotage this memorandum of understanding. This is a belief that Tehran has, and they're approaching this process with that belief. And their position is, we're ready. Whatever way this process goes, we're ready. Tehran says they prefer diplomacy, they prefer a diplomatic solution, but they're ready that if Israel continues to bomb southern Lebanon, the Revolutionary Guard yesterday said they have their finger on their trigger, and their position is they're ready to take military action if necessary.
Reza Sayah there for us in Tehran. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.